Okay, second try for this video. First try, for some reason my iPhone recording all the audio just zeroed everything, like zero signal for 40 minutes. Don't ask me how that happened. But still recording separate audio and video. I would live stream this, except the live stream on this laptop doesn't pick up the mic. Maybe I'll try to do something with the external mic. It's sad in 2025 I can't just Bluetooth my iPhone audio into my laptop. This is something that tech existed for 15 years, but here we are in 2025. I need a third-party app to do this. It isn't built in between whatever, Linux desktop and iPhone audio mic. But either way, maybe I'll get another mic. So back to the video, back to earthquake geodesics. I made yet another discovery. I'm sorry I have not been here for the last month, I think, a long time. The last thing that I was working on, still I'm working on, is small body influence. I noticed, big discovery last time, quakes align geodesics. Geodesics are more often than not perpendicular to the orbital plane. And if we go here to spherical, azimuthal, and if I align to the orbital plane, this particular quake, no, let's find, yes, see straight line through the circle. That means that there's a geodesic perpendicular to the orbital plane. And there's the moon, right in line with it. That happens more often than, look, moon and Mars. Weird, right? Nope, but weirdly has two on either side. This kind of weird symmetry, look, plus symmetry, very, very popular. Very often the plus is perpendicular. In this case, the two sides of the plus are almost even, like 45 degrees. Okay, spherical harmonic modes. That's another big thing that I think influences this. I'm to do a spherical harmonic decomposition with the quake as the Z pole would be insightful, but I haven't done that yet. Oh, there you go, another one perpendicular almost to the orbital plane. Another one kind of 45 degree, making an X to the plane. That's another thing that I already said in earlier videos, is gravitational waves are quadrupoles with plus and X quadrupoles, right? And that's what I'm seeing here. The plus is the one perpendicular to the orbital plane. The X is this right here, and this right here, X mode, plus mode, right? So that's another thing I am not weighing out, gravitational waves. But the other thing that I think might be, and that's why I threw in the small bodies, is electrostatics. I saw this back in 2019, 2020, a giant asteroid had a near approach 2 years in a row. Each time it approached, there was a 7-point earthquake at the closest point of approach. And I asked earthquake expert, amateur expert, independent channel friends, and their response was the mainstream normie professor response, which is there are no charge on bodies in space. Of course there is, but for some reason the mainstream normie mentality is that there isn't, but the behavior says otherwise. So I'm going to be looking into that. That's why I've got small bodies here. It's turned off. I'm still calibrating it. My numbers aren't right. My KOE calculations are off. I have done KOE for based on the NASA ephemeris data. These planets that you're seeing here are the NASA ephemeris data, good for 5,000 years plus or minus 10 meters across all the solar system, which is a lot of meters. They're very, very accurate. My KOE math for the planet data is spot on. My KOE math for the small bodies, JPL small bodies, is not spot on. I need to fix that. But it's on the burner. I've got a lot of other things on the burner. I am always busy. I'm never making money on this. Please consider donation. Universities don't even want this. I talked to a professor about this, and he gave me his spiel about earthquake. He's like an earthquake professor out of Switzerland. He gave me a spiel about what they do, blah, blah, blah. And so I asked him, what about geodesics? And he said, what's a geodesic? And then I said, hey, I can help you with this. I just need a job. And he blocked me, because that's the state of jobs in 2025. I'm poor. I've been poor for a decade, living on less than half, a quarter of whatever the poverty standard is in the West. that's the way things are. But yeah, I did not. This video is not about the orbital spherical harmonics. It's not about the small bodies or the electrostatics. That stuff is on the burner in the works. This video, I found even something else that's new, and I'm going to show you guys. Oh yeah, so this thing I found, let me loosen up the geodesic search to 1 degree instead of 1/10. The 1/10 is only there to prove that this is geodesics, that even the tightest fitting search for 3 quakes in a row still finds geodesics, right? But the trend of geodesics, like this one here, look at this straight line, obvious straight line. These are more loose than even 1 degree, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe if I click on this, it'll pop up. What have I done? Oh, that's right. This is orbital plane aligned. Let me just make this quake aligned. And look at there. You can see that they're exactly like I said. You see the line visually, and look at all these geodesics. This is clumped into this weird kind of plus pattern once again, clumping on either side, or I should say, like I guess it's close. I guess it's kind of an X pattern, X shape mode with the respect to the orbital plane. But you just see a straight line of these guys, and they all have these geodesics going through them. But it's probably a looser fit than 0.1 degrees. There are such geodesic alignments defying probability tighter than 0.1 degrees, but I'm just looking at the loose ones because I want to show you this new thing. I haven't told you yet. Hang in there. I'm gonna tell you, right? So we're looking at quakes plus or minus 3 days within 1 degree, loose fit. You can still see these bunchings in different patterns. And this, look how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Kind of 4 different groups of geodesics, or 8. You see 8 lines emerging, but you know it's a great arc, so it's going to emerge on either direction. So there's 4 unique bunches of them. So maybe that's modes. Maybe that's power of 2 modes of 2, 4, 6, 8. But I don't know. I've got to double check my spherical harmonic math. I'm pretty sure that the L and M modes or whatever, that you can have any number, or is it? It's not just power of 2 numbers, right? It's any number. But it's any numbers in the phi, in the longitude dividing direction. But let me double check that. That'll be future work. But let me just show you this thing that's going to pop up. In order to make it pop up, I'm going to go back to center on the quake and keep it rectangular because I think this one demonstrates my point the best. Watch for the green lines. The red lines are geodesics through. Okay, so a geodesic is formed from. I'm forming the geodesics from 3 quakes in a row within 1 angle degree tolerance. It is the quakes are red if they are in the past 3 days. They're green if they're in the future 3 days. This is the newest quake on USGS at this second, and that's why there's no green dots. There's nothing newer. I'm at the newest one. Now this is the more new. So as I go farther back in time, I'm going to go farther back. There's going to be more and more green dots that are the newer quakes. The green lines that you're going to start seeing are geodesics that the green dots are new quakes, green lines are new geodesics. I look at the 2, there's 3 quakes to a geodesic. 1 is the current selected quake, and there's 2 are the 2 others, and they're always on weird places in the Earth. They're not on the same faults. They're not even in faults sometimes. They're all across the Earth. I average the times of the 2 other quakes, and if that average time is in the future, then it's going to be a red line or a green line. If it's in the past, it's going to be a red line. So we're going to start seeing more green lines as there's more future quakes as we go farther back in time, right? So watch where the green lines appear. That's the crazy thing. Also notice all this bunching here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 bunches once again. That could be harmonics of 4 divided by 2 is 8, right? It's not just a plus harmonic here, and it is a plus, and the plus is nearly perpendicular here with the orbital plane. So that's the last discovery that I made, that I announced on here. Check out this new one. Haven't announced it yet. I'm going to show you guys first. Watch where the green line is. Here's a green line. Okay, that one's kind of in the middle of a bunch, but it's kind of leaning. So you have red, 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 green. Red. I hope you guys can see the mouse. I hope I enabled mouse on the video capture, but red, 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 green. And the green line is kind of trending in the clockwise direction on this bunch. Keep watching. You're going to see more of that. Okay, here we have, once again, the plus pattern perpendicular with the orbital plane here. Orbital plane is the white line, plus geodesic. The red line here going through the yellow quake is perpendicular with the white line, and then at the quake, and it makes another red line perpendicular to that, parallel to the white line at the point of the quake. And that parallel red line then has a fan going out, spanning how many degrees that is, 60 degrees, I guess. This is where your differential geometry comes in handy, because you're dealing with these tangent space bases at that specific point. But, okay, these are all red. Watch for where the green... there we got a green line. It is, in this case, we have red, 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 red. Those are all past geodesics and green line, and it's trending in the counterclockwise direction from the bunch that it's in. You're going to see... Okay, here we have another bunch. Red, 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 red. Green line in the clockwise direction. So, and the more I go back, this is in the middle, I'm going to kind of discard that. This isn't a rule, but it's a phenomenon that I'm observing. That these, okay, here another fan, red, 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 green line, right? Here we have another fan from a plus, and the plus side is, the perpendicular side is also perpendicular to the orbital plane. It's a reoccurring phenomenon. That's in Russia, I think. We're going to start to see these Japanese quake islands come up, In fact, we're going to see eventually in one of these geodesics is cutting right through the Japanese quakes and right through the Spanish quake, but I haven't got to that yet. Here we have, once again, a fan of plus, or red, 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 green, kind of going in the clockwise direction. And here we have this fan, red, 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 green in the counterclockwise direction. And that one is pointed at the Japanese quakes, at least. They're in a green quake on a red line. That means the average of the two other quakes, plus or minus 3 days, the average time is older, but this quake is newer, and the other quake it's on is much older than the newer quake. But either way, you can see that here's some faint green lines and a bunch of red. They're kind of tending in the counterclockwise direction. This is the new discovery, and here once again the classic pattern of a plus. And one of the pluses is perpendicular to the orbital plane. That's one of our new reoccurring patterns we're seeing. And the other perpendicular to that, parallel to the plane at the point of the quake, fans out in one direction, right? It's like a twisting is going on at the point of the quake. It's like the quake is an axis of twisting to whatever's moving inside the Earth. That's what I think is going on. That's what I think is causing the quakes. But these twists, each quake is like a different axis, right? And these geodesic colors, what you're seeing here, watch, it's going from red, 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 red to green. That means older geodesic activity, older geodesic activity, older geodesic activity, newer geodesic activity. There are twists causing cracks across the Earth, and those twists are rotating themselves. My next point of demonstrating this is going to be, this is kind of sort of a counterclockwise movement, red, red, red to green. My next point of activity is going to have to be geospatial filters. I'm going to have to look at just one place of activity, like Caribbean or Southeast Asia, and then just span back in time and watch for how common it is. And especially watch for if this behavior is always clockwise or always counterclockwise, or maybe it correlates with what time of the month, or maybe it correlates with something else. Maybe it just sort of rocks back and forth. Maybe that's relates to the sun. I don't know, but that's what we're going to be looking for next. And this is kind of scattered all over the place. Once again, we have bunches and bunches and bunches with gaps between them. Looks like spherical harmonic modes to me, but we will see later. Oh, look, there's the moon on one of those lines. Once again, most greatest tidal force influencer is the moon, and most quakes exist at sea level, even if the elevation of the point of the quake is much, much, much higher or lower, I guess. No, that can't happen, because never mind, it can't. But, okay, here we go. Red, 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 green. This is counterclockwise twisting, right? Here we got some more geodesics at the quake. At the Japan quake. It's kind of, red to green, counterclockwise twisting, nice bunches, nice plus pattern. This is kind of, it looks like clockwise motion to me, It looks like red, 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 green, red, 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 green. It looks like clockwise twisting of activity of geodesics that the quakes appear on. And is that the one? Yes, there's the one. Okay, here we have our quake is in Indonesia. It is going through. Oh, never mind. Sorry. It's not quite the one. This one's going through Philippines and then Spain. But one of these quakes later is going to go through. Maybe I hope I haven't already passed it. But one of the quakes goes through both Japan and Spain. Or no. Sorry. Sorry. I apologize. It wasn't Japan and Spain. It was Indonesia 7-point and Spain. There are geodesics that I'm going to be looking at, or maybe I already have. I hope I haven't passed them, that connected the two most popular earthquakes in the last few weeks, especially the one. Oh, sorry. Japan was the one that was in the news everywhere. And we have or we will see more geodesics in line with that. But either way, this is stuff the news doesn't talk about. This is stuff the experts doesn't talk about. This is stuff nobody's talking about except me. I'm trying to get attention for it. Here's a nice plus grouping of geodesics. Once again, spherical harmonic modes, maybe. We'll see. And there is connecting activity from the Indonesia 7-point at least to other quakes, like Caribbean quakes, to New Mexico. Okay, here we have twisting counterclockwise, red, 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 green. This is what I'm going to be pointing out more and more. This guy's also going through Philippines. This guy's going through Japan. Nice. And what do we have here? We have lines going through Tajikistan, Central Asia, and Spain. So there's more geodesic stuff you will not. And then I wonder if these are even crossing through. Okay, Tajikistan, Indonesia. I wonder if any of them are including the 6.7 Indonesia quake. I mean, there's just tons. You know, this is a pretty wide fan. You can still see groupings of it. Once again, harmonic modes, right? Or axis, whatever axis modes. I forget which letter in harmonics that is, the L or the M letter. Here we got that. This is the pattern I'm showing off. This is the whole point of the video. Red, 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 green. There is a counterclockwise twisting of motion about this point, and it's creating more. See, if I was a betting man, I'm not. Once again, this is all observation. I am telling you what the data says. I am not telling you what my math model predicts. This is not prediction. Everyone keeps looking at this and saying, well, what's your prediction? What's your prediction? Oh, this is prediction. No. This is the data. You can download it yourself from USGS and calculate geodesics and see the exact same thing. But everyone I show it to doesn't even know what a geodesic is, let alone, like, the math involved here. It's decently high, not the highest. You know, it's definitely below graduate level math. Maybe it's at graduate level math, but the people doing earthquake prediction, they have not seemed to apply it yet, which surprises me. But either way, here we have clockwise twisting. So something is shaking and causing cracks around the Earth, great arc lines around the Earth, and that motion is going in a counterclockwise motion, twisting about this point. So if I was a betting man, I would say the next green line, the next future quake at this point in time is going to be, just beneath. Here it was at Japan. Yeah, next is going to be beneath Japan. And here this is connecting Japan and Philippines. Interesting. And here this is connecting, this is the 6.7 quake in Indonesia, and it's going right through, was it California? California, and right through the Caribbean. And once again, part of this plus fan process. And once again, one of the pluses is perpendicular to the orbital plane. Once again, see these reoccurring points. Perpendicular orbital plane, point number 1. Point number 2, in a plus mode, and then often with these fans. Point number 3, that one of the fan's axes, the fan is caused from one of the plus axes just slowly trailing and making more cracks across the entire Earth, like around the entire Earth. Okay, here we got more. This is here's a clustering. It's going counterclockwise and making more shaking activity here. Oh wow, 6.7 is still in the past. Spain is still in the past. So we have some, and I guess Japan is in the future. I guess I must have passed Japan already, even though that's what everyone's talking about. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot about Forgot about following trends, and instead I'm caught up following patterns that the trend people haven't even seen yet. I'm sorry, I'm so far ahead of everyone else. It's a painful life to live. It involves abject poverty because the normies will not help you, and that's why I'm don't ask me why. I'm doing this for a love of pursuit of the truth, definitely not for appeasing the masses. But, okay, here we go. Red, 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 green, red, 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 green. There is a counterclockwise twisting going about this point. Do we have any good geodesics through popular trendy quakes? Yeah, I think so. I think that's the Japanese quake. Japanese quake drawing lines through Alaska and drawing lines. That's kind of a very nice perpendicular to the orbital plane once again. And, wow, that's almost... okay, I guess this geodesic is... how big of a quake is that? 4.2? Is there a bigger quake? 6.2. Ooh. Panama 6.2 quake, and that one's kind of going... I can't quite... I could zoom in on this, but I'm not going to screw up the view. I don't want to screw things up too much. Yeah, this is going through Peru and Panama. Okay, so this geodesic is kind of going through these two quakes. And the Alaska quake. And Wyoming. See, I'm trying to track with my eyes where this cluster goes, and it kind of goes down here, down to... Is it Sumatra? I think Sumatra quakes, yeah. Wife is here giving me the thumbs up. She's my support on this. Reading the screen. I'm doing this all on an external monitor that can't even render every scan line, so the text is absolutely crap. But such is the life. Here we have classic plus pattern, some classic modes but splitting it, and once again, at least to this, okay, this cluster here, red, 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 green, clockwise twisting, right? Same with this cluster here, red, 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 green, clockwise twisting. The new quakes are kind of in the middle, but this tiny bunch, red, 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 green, clockwise twisting. We got geodesics from this, all the activity here, going through Spain, going through Tajikistan, same as before. And, yeah, going through Philippines. Almost perpendicular. This might be an X mode, or maybe the plus and the X. Okay, the plus stuff I will definitely get behind, because you very, very, very often see orbital plane, perpendicular line going straight up through the earthquake, and more often than not you'll see a planet right there, which is weird. But sometimes they're off angle like this. I won't swear at it being 45 degrees, but it's just off from perpendicular. Okay, and what do we got? Once again, there's that plus, there's that perpendicular line to the orbital plane right there. And the plus, this has fanning going on. This is counterclockwise motion. Red, 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 green. That's what I'm getting behind today. Earthquakes seem to be at points where there are geodesics of cracks spanning the Earth, and those geodesics are moving slowly in a twisting pattern under the earthquake. It's like earthquakes are axes of rotations of twists of cracks of other earthquakes around the Earth. I think that stuff is getting rearranged inside the Earth, and that's producing these. Maybe it's stuff outside the Earth. Maybe it's planets. I don't know. But I still think it's stuff inside the Earth. So here we got red, 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 green, counterclockwise once again. And this could be clockwise. These are in the middle of this big fan, so who knows. And there's the moon next to the closest geodesic, perpendicular to the orbital plane. Not quite fully perpendicular. Okay, this is kind of a mess. So we got the 6.7 still in the past, but that's right on the orbital. Look at this is a mess of geodesics everywhere, and the quake is on the orbital plane. That might be a reoccurring theme. This one's off the orbital plane. There is a geodesic, a bunch that goes perpendicular to the orbital plane. That is Venus, or I think red planet or green planet on my HUD. What else? Do we have any geodesics going here? There's some through Japan. They also go through Burma. And through, is this Hawaii? Hawaii, yeah. Here we have geodesics that connect the 6.2 in Panama to Hawaii to Indonesia, or Philippines, sorry. It's probably South Philippines, right? It's right on the next to Indonesia anyways. And going farther back, okay, there's these groupings, and there's the plus pattern, and it's right on, the plus is perpendicular to the orbital plane, it's right on the orbital plane. There's this new quake here in the future, but it's not really in a grouping. So I'm not going to call that as being counterclockwise motion, but it almost looks like it. And this quake in Burma draws lines through the Spain quake, still yet to be in the past, just like the Indonesia quake. These guys look, I'm pretty sure these are all on the same geodesic, and it's going to pop out more and more as we go farther back. Here we got New Zealand, plus pattern, perpendicular to the plane, and perpendicular is part of a fan that goes in the clockwise direction. Next update hopefully will be me analyzing one specific point and just tracing it back in the past and seeing if these go clockwise versus counterclockwise versus back and forth. But I bet you there's some time-dependent behavior of these geodesics for each point on Earth. That it's going to be a twisting or a rocking back and forth. Okay, here we have fan pattern, classic once again, perpendicular, almost perpendicular kind of here, and it looks like it's going counterclockwise. I think I remember seeing counterclockwise at Caribbean a lot of the time. Maybe I'm wrong. Here it's just kind of scattered in between stuff. We don't have any nice geodesics through anything. It looks kind of like it's going counterclockwise, but this could be clockwise on the other. It's kind of in the middle of everything. I don't know. I won't make a call on that one yet. Here, this looks like it's going in the counterclockwise direction. Red, 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 green. Red, 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 green for this bunch. Red, 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 green for this bunch. Red, 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 green for this bunch. This is the infamous 6.7 quake. What are the odds? And here's the geodesics going through it into Spain. What are the odds? For all the people talking about the 6.7 in Indonesia, for all the people talking about the 5.2 in Spain, who's telling you they're related? I am and no one else. But this is the information that shows they're related by geodesics going through Burma as well. There's some other ones, Spain, Burma, Afghanistan as well. Burma, yep. I seem to remember some Indian Ocean ones. Yeah, they're going through Indian Ocean and probably going through whatever, Tonga. Yep, Tonga. So there's the activity of the infamous 6.7. It looks like it's making kind of a plus with the orbital plane. And it looks like we got its plus of geodesics and some modes on either side. See, this is where I think that it might not be power of two modes, but it might just be sort of any arbitrary number. Because how many groups do we see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe it is some. See, I don't think these are. I mean, sure, you have the initial plus, but then the plus looks like it's almost divided into groups of 3 or 4. I've got to add some kind of overlay of like fractions of angles, like power of 2 angles, power of 3 angles onto this to see if I have a real proper breakdown. But more on that in the future. Here we have another geodesic that goes through Japan quakes. Man, last time I tried to record this video and it failed. I had a lot more to say about the Japan quakes than the geodesics they were on. I'm sorry. And for some reason I remember talking a lot more about India, and especially Sumatra, North Sentinel Islands and stuff. But yeah, sorry, I'm not paying attention to that as much on this run through. I don't script this for sure, and I try to remember the points that I make. Okay, here we got clockwise motion about this. Oh, this is the Spanish quake. Clockwise, at least here we go. Red, 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 green. Green is the rightmost, whenever you're going clockwise. And then same on this other, it's the plus grouping. Plus is perpendicular. Red, 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 green is going clockwise on all of the groups, on all the fans. No planets near the orbital plane point, which is, but they're all the planets are along the fan. Interesting. So there's the Spanish quake. It's probably going through it's going through the Indonesia quake. Yeah, and it's also going through, look at this straight, beautiful line going right through the 6.2? 6.2 in Panama. And look at all this future activity it's going to trigger in a straight, perfect, clear line. And ironically, I just said, this looks like it's going... Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, not ironically. I did actually call this. This is going clockwise, and this is red, 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 green. So See, if I was a betting man and I didn't know the future when this quake struck and I was just looking at this graph, I would say, hey, the next few major quakes around the world are going to be right on the edge of this because it seems to be twisting. And what do you know? That's exactly what happened. So hopefully I can build a prediction model off this, but for now I'm still looking only at what is actually there. This is all stuff you can calculate yourself. This is old data. This is not new data. This is not me. This is not a prediction model. I hope the viewing audience understands that. You know, this is not geometry indexes, me predicting where the planet alignment is going to tell you where quakes are. This is me just looking at where the quakes and the planets have already been. Here we got another nice grouping going clockwise. Okay, I know I just said something about counterclockwise in Caribbean, so here it is clockwise in Caribbean. Red, 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 green, red, 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 green, red, 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 green. Nice plus configuration, or maybe it's an X. See, I'm not fully sworn in on or swearing to the angle that the quake makes with the orbital plane. I see a lot of perpendicular ones, but then there's a lot of weird angles like this. It's probably at like 60 degrees with the orbital plane. Don't exactly know what triggers that, what causes that. What else we got? This is going to be a future trigger. Wow, is that through Spain and Panama? Yes, it is. Wow. See this Caribbean quake right here? So it's a smaller one. Is that what? Is it 2 point something? It connects Panama's 5.2 with, Panama's 6.2 with Spain's 5.2. Interesting. And this is going to be an indicator. You know, this should, if I had a math model hammered out, then it should have told me, wow, this tiny little quake was an indicator that something big is going to happen in Panama, in whatever islands this is, Pacific Rim, and Spain. Crazy, huh? Completely different fault lines, all connected. And of course, wow, sure enough, the 6.7 here is on this big red fan of quakes. The next green light, well, actually it just passed the 6. The 6 point would have been trailing the fan's movement, but this Indonesia quake was on the fan's movement. Something is inside the Earth moving around, or outside, or both, or something outside, like the electric field, gravitational field, is causing inside motion. Okay, that's another rant that got lost in the other failed video recording, is that because this is all orbital plane aligned, because it seems to be rotating, I suspect this all just might be tidal locking of the Earth. I suspect this just might be the Earth, Moon, Sun rotation and revolution angular momentum being conserved. And as the Earth does that, it's going to just cause different stresses on the surface, which is going to affect the plates, which is going to cause earthquakes. And that doesn't sell very well, I know. Everyone likes good drama. Everyone likes to talk about like scalar wave stuff and whatever other propaganda stuff. Not to rule that out, of course. Give everyone their audience, their voice, their 15 minutes or whatever. But because of the big scale things that seem to align with these quake geodesics, it just might be as simple as tidal locking of the Earth. The Earth is just going to do this. Sorry to say, this is the future. This is what nature does. It's a cruel, cruel thing, but we have to deal with it. Okay. This is kind of mixed. I'm not going to make a call on that. Still a grouping, still perpendicular at the plane here. I really hope the mouse is visible. Another grouping. This one I might say is clockwise. Red, 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 green. Red, 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 green. So yeah, next follow-up hopefully is going to show you all this. This is kind of, this might be in the middle of the orbital plane, and let me just switch over to azimuthal view to verify that. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not in the middle of it. We do have a good grouping of them that goes close to perpendicular, and kind of making 1, 2. There are distinct groups here. It's definitely not power of 2. It's some other factor. Maybe it is power of 2. I don't know. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, that one's hard to deal with. This one seems more easy to. This is the kind of cookie cutter pattern I kept seeing over and over again. especially in line with these geodesics seeming to be twisting. You got a plus pattern. The plus on one side is twisting. It's the plus that's perpendicular to the plane. Red, 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 green going in a counterclockwise motion. And those counterclockwise twisting geodesics cuts through things like 6.7 Indonesia and 5.2 Spain on the same geodesic, maybe. This is Spain to Burma to Indonesia, right? Oh, and yep, that's Japan also. Oh, and the other axis of the plus is going right through Japan, Burma, Japan, and some other stuff. Hawaii. Burma, Japan, Hawaii, and Burma, Japan, two through Japan. These guys, yeah. So yeah, this is my new pattern this new popular Quake geodesic distribution pattern, and its time properties, that it seems to be twisting in time from one place to another. This one clockwise, red, 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 green, right? This is the Japan quakes, in fact, and it is going through. Well, actually, our angle tolerance is too tight to pick up Spain here. Maybe this particular Japanese quake just isn't going through Spain, but this is going through a bunch of other ones. What do you know? Across the Americas, especially. This is this infamous geodesics divide the Earth in half, right? Great arcs divide the Earth in half, divide spheres in half. And this is the ring of fire great arc that divides like the sea versus the land mass halves of the Earth, and where all the activity tends to be on. Here, this fan here, red, 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 green, counterclockwise twisting, perpendicular with red, orange planet. I think that's Jupiter. Mars, Jupiter. Yep, Jupiter. That's kind of scattered. That's also kind of scattered. That is a solid example. Almost perpendicular to the orbital plane. It's pretty far from the orbital plane. Maybe it's a 45 degree. It's kind of hard to say because the distortion is kind of highest at the plane. One of the points of intersection of the plane, though, is with the moon. And you have this twisting pattern. This is interesting. One of the sides of the plus or X or whatever it is twisting in a counterclockwise motion, and the other looks like it might be in a clockwise motion, but then on the other side of it is a counterclockwise motion. Either way, where is this? Central Asia, Afghanistan. See, I really have to do a geospatial filter next, and then just track back in time, geospatial filter, and watch to see if there's this twisting that's like rocking back and forth or something. Because I think that'll be telling. These two actually have the same kind of. Look at the separation of this. This is Afghanistan. This is Burma. Yep. Afghanistan, Burma, same geodesic pattern, same red to green, same geodesics probably, and this is all red. And then going back again. Keep going back. This is also counterclockwise, red, green, and the green is going through Japan, Philippines. Wouldn't it have been nice to look at this behavior prior and say, that's going to trigger next, and Japan is on that line, and give people a warning? Wouldn't that be nice? That is my goal here. But I'm not going to blow smoke, you know? I'm going to make something solid. I'm already making stuff that's solid. I'm already discovering and sharing my discoveries with you guys. I'm already making progress. Yeah, please consider supporting, because I'm making real progress. These are real new phenomena that, if I was allowed into academia, which I have tried and failed at, then these would be research papers that never saw the light of day. But instead, I'm just making videos of it. Nice plus configuration. This side of the plus, once again, goes through. Is a fan twisting and turning towards Japan and Philippines. The other side of the plus goes right straight to Spain. Spain and what is this? What is that island in the middle of nowhere in the North Atlantic? Is there even I think there's a fault line there. I need to add fault line overlays for sure. But that's just out there, and it's pointed right from our current quake activity here in California to that random one in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, North Atlantic, right to Spain. Spain is in the future. This would have been a nice predictor to what's going to happen in the future for Spain. The other direction pointed at all this activity down in New Zealand. Yep, nice plus configuration once again. Plus is perpendicular. Actually, okay. This is like six. This is like a plus at right angles that goes into X to the orbital plane, and then in the middle of the plus is this just nice north-south geodesic going straight through the orbital plane. That's an interesting one. And we have I guess on this fan here, it looks like it's going kind of clockwise motion. It's kind of hard to say. Here we got more clockwise motion from Caribbean. Clockwise motion points at Japan. Quakes here. Keep going back. Here we got counterclockwise motion to green, red to green. Counterclockwise sort of here. Red, green, red, green. And then we have a few reds. Who knows? Maybe that's going to be a green soon in the future. We definitely have this guy that's triggered in the future. This is is it quite a 6? I can't even read the screen. It's somewhere. It's the Japanese islands that were always in. Or no, this is Russia, huh? Kuril Islands. That's Russia, huh? But North Japan, yeah. This is actually on the next grouping over. Is the Japanese islands that were in the news. And that's red, green. That would have been a nice prediction to have before the fact, huh? That's why I'm working on this. Here we got clockwise twisting, red, green. I have definitely said clockwise at Caribbean a few times now. I definitely need to make the geospatial filter. Here we got, this is kind of a mix, but it's a mix. Red, green going clockwise there, but it kind of looks like counterclockwise there, but it also looks like clockwise there. This looks like clockwise, sorry. This looks like clockwise to me. Red, green. And that's a nice bunch of green, in fact. Reds are perpendicular to the plane. So are those reds. But then this off to the plus, like 30 degrees off to the plus, we have this new green bunch. Weird. Why would do that? What would cause a plus configuration not quite perpendicular to the orbital? I want to say the orbital is 30 degrees on the other side, perpendicular, and then out pops a geodesic. That's even 30 degrees from the plus and 30 degrees from the perpendicular to the orbital plane. It's going to pop up in the near future and cause us Japanese quake shaking, and Philippines quake shaking, and Indonesia quake shaking. What is causing that? That's what we're here to find out. Here we have another fan. Here we have another classic plus fan, red, green, going in the counterclockwise direction, and the other side of the plus is perpendicular to the orbital plane. Interesting. Yeah, this is kind of in the middle. I'm not going to make a call on that. Interesting. Plus, this is all over. Not going to make a call on that. This is it's kind of all over, but it's kind of, I don't know. My eyes kind of see red, kind of a red to green counterclockwise. Oh yeah, I should also show you guys. This is why I'm filtering out only quakes through the specific active, only geodesics through the specifically active quake at a specific time, because if you look at all geodesics through all quakes at any one time, it's a mess. This is also why I'm going to be doing this with, I'm going to kill my computer. Yeah, see, it's just a mess. You can't make sense of everything. Okay, that's probably the last nail in the coffin of what my computer can take. I'm going to kill it soon. One way or the other. I don't want it freezing on me like last time. So I'm going to call it quits here. This is the prediction. This is the new pattern I've found, that these geodesics are twisting as they go in the future. Hopefully soon we will get geospatial filters. And tune in next bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel next time. And it was good chatting with you guys. I'll see y'all later. Please throw in your theories. Please throw in any electrostatics or spherical harmonics. And thanks for everyone watching. Bye.